Hello Earthlings, Ultraviolet Ronald from the Bronx here. For today, we're going to get into a quick little 10-minute throat chakra meditation. But before we get into that throat chakra meditation, I am going to basically describe what the throat chakra is. It's the fifth chakra. It is associated with the color light blue. The element is sound. And that affirmation that corresponds to that sound is I speak, therefore you are. So whatever you say, you speak it out into existence and you further manifest it into the life or the being of which you are taking over. So words matter. Always remember that. So if you're speaking negativity, toxicity, you're speaking things that is ill of you or people around you, those things come back to harm you or hurt you. Further, thus the word karma. So be very clear in what it is and concise and what you're trying to articulate, because that could be the difference between people respecting, understanding you, or throwing you to the side and casting you to be something else. And that can be very sad, because sometimes it's very hard for us to be who we're meant to be on this planet, because society takes us away from who we're truly meant to be, because they don't want us to be individuals. They want us to be part of the sheep herd. They want us to be subjugated, thinking like everybody else. That's pushed by this narrative that the legacy media does a great job with making us believe. And I do not want you to be a part of those people. I want you to not take the blue pill. Hey, you take the blue pill, it's very easy to take it. I mean, I understand. Living in delusion is awesome. Living in this fairy tale, sunshines and rainbows, unicorn type fantasy world is amazing. But there's some points in time where you have to come to the truth. And sometimes the truth is going to meet you when you do not want it to meet you. In a certain part of your life, it could be early on, it could be midway, later on in your life. But at some point, the truth will bite you in the butt. So you have to live in it to further progress who you are as a person. And if you're not speaking up, if you're not doing what it is that you set out to do, if you're not using valuable time that you may have for introspection, if you're not going out there and saying it like you mean and meaning it like you say, that's a problem, because you're going to start to develop illnesses that is around that throat chakra, and you're going to start having thyroid issues. You're going to be sick a lot. You're always going to be a yes person, just agreeing to whatever it is. You're going to be just following trends, and you're going to lose sight of who you were meant to be on this planet, basically by not having this in harmony with your 7 chakras, because the throat chakra is very important. I don't care what anybody says, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're just renting out this vessel that is the body. But you have to do what it is that you were set out to do and find your purpose. We all have a purpose, and what I mean by that purpose is that there is something that intrigues us, and we know what it is. Sometimes we may not know, and we have to put ourselves in certain situations to know. But once you find that thing that intrigues you and you feel like that's a part of you and who you were meant to be, you have to go along that light, no matter how hard, treacherous, or scary it might be. Because when you do not do that, you're basically saying, I accept a mediocre life. And I don't mean mediocre in finances. I mean mediocre in who you were meant to be. Because if you're not living out your true, fullest purpose of getting to the highest standard of your body, optimizing the mind, and getting your spirit in alignment with the universe, you are failing as a person. And I want you to be an outstanding human being, get into that ultraviolet, which is the highest form of consciousness, which is deeply tied to that crown chakra. But in order to do that, you gotta have all 7 chakras in alignment, and you gotta constantly work on it every single day. Speak your truth and not be afraid to be who you are, regardless of who is around. Because I understand that is very hard in today's era, because people are so quick to judge you. People are so quick to give you weird eyes. People are so quick to throw you to the side and basically label you as a misfit or an outcast and not really hear what you want to say if it messes with their emotions and you speaking the truth. They'd rather not hear the truth and be in delusion, living in this fairy tale land, and then, one day that truth bites them in the butt, and they would have wished that they would have listened to that seed that you planted in their head, either it be from you, their parents, their teachers, society, whatever it may be. But you have a choice to make. You could either squelch your creativity, not be who you were meant to be while you're on this planet. But in order to open it up, you have to massage this throat chakra. You have to let that light blue fluidity feel of the water or the sky just come over your body. Let it engulf you. Immerse yourself into it. You have to chant to really loosen it up. You could chant 11, 15, 20 times throughout the day. It could just be for a minute. You could be by yourself, you could be in the bathroom, wherever you may be. That's a good way to really open up the throat chakra. And of course, just visualizing it as you're meditating, which we're going to try to do today. I know it can be very hard if it's your first time, but for 10 minutes, we're going to close our eyes. We're going to really focus on what this means to us, what our voice means to us, what it means to speak truth, not just your opinion of whatever, and you just want someone to hear you, and it doesn't mean anything. You just want somebody to hear you, you just want to say outlandish stuff just to get a reaction or attention. No. I mean, speak your truth and dwell in it and live in it. That is the hardest thing to do while we're here on this planet. Again, media does a great job with diverting us from it and making us believe this is the true source of the truth, even though it's not. And we go down that rabbit hole, and then we figure out later on, I don't know why I made this choice in life. I don't want that person to be you. I want you to open up your throat chakra. I want you to speak your truth. I want you to unblock it. I want you to get in line with those 7 chakras all together and get that spirit just vibrating on your highest frequency and just breathing in all of that good energy. I want you to do that. So before we do that, all right, before we get into the throat chakra meditation, you're going to place one hand on the heart and the other hand being the thumb right on the clavicle, right in the center. Because while you're meditating, I want you to be able to really focus all of that energy going into this area and the negative energy coming out from the right hand, the heart, this area. Because once you cleanse it through the heart, everything else emotionally starts to make sense overall for your body. Hopefully you understand that. Find a nice place on the mat. Let's begin. Thank you for joining me on this path to the ultraviolet. If you liked the video, please subscribe. But other than that, stay with peace and love, everyone.